We have talked about patterns. We have talked about identity. We have talked about insight and redesign. Now, we're talking about something quieter: discomfort. I don't mean crisis. I do not mean trauma, not collapse, just discomfort. A delayed reply, a critical comment, a difficult conversation, a moment of uncertainty. For many adults, discomfort feels urgent. It feels like something must be fixed immediately. So when we react, we explain, we defend, we withdraw, we overwork, we overthink. Reaction gives relief, temporary relief, but reaction often reinforces the pattern. Let's slow this down a little bit. Let's set this straight. Discomfort is not danger, it is information. Your body does not always distinguish between threat and tension. And if you grew up in unpredictable environments, your system learned to act fast. And that fast reaction is what felt protective. Now, adulthood requires a different skill, and it's called tolerance. Tolerance means staying present long enough to choose your response. Not suppressing emotion, not exploding emotion, but remaining steady while emotion passes. Let's make this a little bit more practical, shall we? Someone sends you a message that feels slightly critical. Your body tightens and you feel misunderstood. The old system says, respond immediately, clarify, defend, over-explain. But tolerance says, pause, wait, and let the emotion settle before you reply. Now that pause, that is capacity. And here's the truth. Most overreactions are not about the present moment. They are about accumulated sensitivity. You may think otherwise, but sensitivity is not weakness. It is history stored in the body. And when discomfort appears, history activates almost automatically. Tolerance, however, creates space between activation and action. Now that space is what changes the outcomes. Here's something a little bit more subtle. Many people confuse tolerance with suppression. Suppression pushes emotions down. Tolerance allows emotion to exist without immediate action. Suppression creates pressure, but tolerance creates stability. Let's reflect on this. How long can you sit with an uncomfortable feeling before acting? 5 seconds? 30? Maybe 5 minutes? That answer reveals capacity. And if discomfort feels unbearable quickly, your system is protecting something, and you may need to check that. What might it be protecting? Is it reputation? Is it belonging? Is it control? When tolerance increases, protection does not disappear. It just becomes measured. And this is where maturity grows. Let's introduce a light observation. Have you ever sent a long message in frustration and then reread it about an hour later and felt slightly embarrassed? Yeah, that one. You see, that is reaction outrunning tolerance. Tolerance would have shortened the message or delayed it, or even removed it entirely. The small pauses prevent the large consequences. Now let's discuss how tolerance is built. It is not by thinking, it is by practicing. You start with the little discomforts. Delay replying by 10 minutes. Sit in a mild silence during a conversation. Allow someone to misunderstand you briefly before clarifying. These are micro exposures, and each exposure expands capacity slightly. Capacity grows through repetition and not intensity. Here's an important distinction. Discomfort does not always require resolution. Sometimes it requires endurance. Endurance is not suffering like we think. It is strength under restraint. I love this definition. When you tolerate discomfort, you make better decisions. When you react instantly, you protect the past. Which do you want to do? Tolerance protects the future, while quick reaction endangers it. Let's go a little bit deeper. Overreaction creates new problems, while tolerance often dissolves old ones. If you do not respond immediately to a minor conflict, sometimes it resolves itself. And if you do not over-explain, sometimes misunderstanding fades on its own. Your system learns that discomfort does not equal catastrophe, and that's where the change begins, that learning. That learning reduces anxiety over time. It reduces anxiety and increases clarity. Clarity itself improves outcome, and everything just begins to connect. Now, a direct question. What situations trigger your fast reactions? What will happen if you slow down deliberately in those moments? Would something truly collapse, or would space create stability? Observe these gently this week. Choose one predictable trigger and practice pausing before you act, not to prove anything at all, but to expand capacity. Tolerance is not dramatic, it is quiet power. Inside the design is not about eliminating discomfort. No, it's about strengthening your ability to remain steady within it. Steadiness changes decisions, and decisions change outcome. We are here building that steadiness intentionally, and that's what we will continue to do.